Right now, Wisconsin Capitol Police are working to identify a man who attempted to enter a Democratic state representative's home on Monday. What lawmakers are doing to ensure their safety. Also, a Democratic candidate throws their hat in the ring after Governor Tony Ivers announced he won't be seeking a third term. And we're following Madison Music Foundry as it highlights a variety of programs during its student showcase. That's all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. We'll get to all those stories in just a bit, but first, the Rock County Sheriff's Office arrested a Beloit man Saturday after he allegedly drove drunk and crashed into a ditch in the town of Porter. Deputies were dispatched to the intersection of North Tolles Road and West Church Street just after 2 p.m. An initial investigation revealed a truck was northbound on Tolles Road approaching the intersection when the driver lost control, resulting in the crash. The driver was identified as a 50-year-old Beloit man. The sheriff's office reported the man showed signs of possible intoxication and was arrested for their fourth OWI, this time resulting in a felony. The man was taken to the Rock County Jail and is scheduled for jail court on Friday. The Iowa County Sheriff's Office arrested 2 people in separate operating while intoxicated crashes over the weekend. The first crash occurred in Dodgeville, where the sheriff's office responded to a crash on Saturday, just around 8:30 on State Highway 191 near McGraw Road. A 36-year-old Dodgeville man was arrested and faces the charges listed on your screen. The second crash happened in the village of Linden shortly after 1:50 a.m. Deputies were called to a crash on Main Street. The sheriff's office reported a 42-year-old Lancaster man was found to be drunk and was taken into custody. He was charged with operating while intoxicated and resisting and obstructing an officer. Now, let's go ahead and get a look at your first one forecast with the meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze.
We're going to sit underneath alert day conditions as we head into the start of our next work week. We are wrapping up the days left in July, and how fitting as we continue to make our way through the middle of summer. It feels like we're going to continue to feel as though we are in summer, as heat index values could be anywhere between 100 and 105 degrees tomorrow afternoon, and that's on top of temperatures climbing into the low to mid 90s for actual air temperatures underneath a mix of mostly sunny to partly sunny conditions. Winds are going to be out of the southwest, and that's going to just add that little extra bit of warmth compared to where we were today. Take a look at what it may feel like as we head into Monday mid to late afternoon. The low 100s, triple digits for many of us across southern Wisconsin. That's a combination of the sunny conditions, the southwesterly winds, and dew points into those 70s. That's why we also have a heat advisory issued by the National Weather Service through 8 p.m. on Monday. But I think we should continue to remain cool and drink plenty of water even beyond that. I would say until about Wednesday, because we are still going to be somewhat hot, but certainly humid as we go into Tuesday. We don't get the relief until about Wednesday. We won't feel it until Thursday of this week. Tonight, we're going to only dip into those low to mid 70s. Showers and thunderstorms possible further to the west. We're going to track out where that rain is now, when it could impact us on Monday, and a few more rain chances throughout next week in the full forecast.
All right, sounds good, Blaze. We'll see you in just a bit. And as always, you can track the forecast for yourself on the First Warn Weather app. It has hourly planners, road conditions, and even radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather. In the state capitol, a couple of new bills are circulating. One would ban apps owned by foreign countries from any state devices. This is essentially an expansion of the TikTok ban for state-owned devices that Governor Ivers signed into executive order just 2 years ago. At the same time, another bill circulating in the Capitol right now would allow those who receive gender-affirming care while they were under 18 the ability to sue the doctors who provided the health care. Both bills could be introduced later this year. Wisconsin Capitol Police are working to identify a shirtless man who attempted to enter Democratic State Representative Priscilla Prado's home Monday night. This comes amid increased scrutiny to lawmaker security after 2 Minnesota state lawmakers were shot last month. In a statement, Prado shared that it was a deeply unsettling experience and that she is grateful that no one was injured. At the same time, members of Congress will get additional money for their security, according to a memo put out by Wisconsin Congressman Brian Stile. Stile chairs the Committee on House Administration and outlined in that memo, members of Congress will get more money to spend on in-home security equipment. a short-term boost to hire security guards and expand local law enforcement agreements so law enforcement can provide additional coverage if there is a threat. And a former member of Congress returned to Wisconsin. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy spoke at EAA Air Ventures on Tuesday, unveiling a sweeping update to FAA regulations. The new rule would impact recreational pilots. It will throw out certain weight limits, allow for more advanced designs, and Duffy says it will bring the industry to, quote, a new age.
We just finalized a major reform that's going to make recreational flying safer, more accessible, and far less red tape to tie us up in.
Now, the story dominating headlines this week, Governor Ivers announcing he will not seek a third term in office. Now, this will leave a wide open primary for the Democratic nominee for governor. The first Democrat to jump in the race, Ivers' Lieutenant Governor, Sarah Rodriguez. She appears to have been ready to jump in the race for more than a week ago, based on the timestamp for when her campaign uploaded a press release to the internet announcing a run. But her official launch came the day after Ivers' decision. Rodriguez made the announcement through a campaign video.
Getting into politics was never part of my plan, but I saw a broken system and decided to do something about it. So I ran for state assembly and won, representing parts of Milwaukee and Waukesha, where I fought back against abortion restrictions and worked to make life just a little bit easier for Wisconsin families.
Now to other news, Madison Music Foundry highlights a variety of programs during its student showcase. Performers showed off their skills at the High Noon Saloon, which was filled with family, friends, and local music enthusiasts. Alum from the Foundry have gone on to perform nationally, as well as at local venues and events. Organizers say part of what makes the event special is its ability to showcase their wide range of students.
The cool thing about it is it's all ages. It's quite literally young kids, maybe 7, 8, all the way to adults, even to retirees. The majority of the students today will be youth, a lot of middle schoolers, but we'll get whole families up there. Sometimes we'll have parents playing with their kids.
Close to 100 performers took the stage to show off all that they've learned. Coming up next on News 3 Now at 10, Blaze returns with a complete look of your first warn forecast. But first, the latest on the stabbing in Michigan that left 11 people injured. Plus, the U.S. avoids a trade war with the European Union. What the president had to say about the framework of the deal when we return.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Thank you for staying with us. A normal trip to a local Walmart in Traverse City, Michigan turned into terror for many shoppers. A man entered the store and began attacking people randomly with a knife. 11 people were hurt. Tonight, the 42-year-old suspect is in custody and awaiting arraignment. CBS's Lana Zach is there with new details.
Cell phone video shows witnesses confronting the suspect.
Throw the knife that way.
One with a gun drawn, as others tend to the victims of a stabbing attack inside a Walmart in Traverse City, Michigan on Saturday.
Everyone that came to try to stop him or tackle him, he started slashing, and he cut 9 or 10 people.
42-year-old Bradford Gilley was taken into custody within minutes, according to the sheriff's office.
Mr. Gilley's history shows prior assaultive incidents as well as controlled substance violations. A motive has not yet been determined.
Investigators say Gilley entered the store armed with a 3.5-inch folding knife and waited roughly a half hour before stabbing 11 people in the checkout area. Tonight, hospital officials tell us one of the victims has been discharged and only 2 remain in serious condition.
Our trauma team made special mention of the care that was rendered in the field by witnesses at the scene, but particularly our first responders that arrived on the scene, and the aid that they were able to render, their expertise, their training, their clinical decisions and triage were nothing short of life-saving.
Life-saving. They save lives out there.
Yes.
Gilley now faces a terrorism charge and 11 counts of assault with intent to murder. Local prosecutors say he could face a judge as soon as tomorrow. Lana Zach, CBS News, Traverse City, Michigan.
New tax rules for charitable donations are on the way. Starting next year, how you donate will affect your tax break deduction. Standard deduction filers can write off up to $1,000 in cash gifts, $2,000 for joint filers. That's double the old pandemic-era limit. Non-cash gifts like clothes or food will face stricter limits. Those who itemize their deductions will, for the first time, be allowed to deduct their cash contributions only to the extent they exceed 0.5% of their adjusted gross income. The new tax rules are set to take effect in 2026. Heads up now if you're heading towards retirement. Some big cuts to Social Security benefits could be on the horizon for some Americans. According to a new analysis from the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget, dual income couples may see $18,000 less per year if they retire in 2033. That's compared to if they retired right now. The estimated 24% drop is due to a projected depletion of Social Security's Old Age and Survivors Insurance Trust Fund. Once the fund is depleted, the recently enacted Big Bill dictates that Social Security benefits will no longer be paid at the full rate. A typical single earner couple would face a cut of up to more than $13,000. A major victory for President Trump that averts a painful trade war between the U.S. and the European Union. The two trading partners exchange $2 trillion in goods every single year. CBS's Weisha Zhang is in Edinburgh, Scotland, traveling with the president.
We have good news. We've reached a deal.
President Trump announced the news from his luxury golf resort in Turnberry, where he hosted the president of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen.
I think this deal will bring us very close together, actually. It's a partnership in a sense.
It's a huge deal. It will bring stability. It will bring predictability. That's very important for our businesses on both sides of the Atlantic.
The two leaders said the tariff rate for imports from the EU's 27 member countries would be 15%, down from 30% that was set to kick in on Friday. The EU has agreed to purchase U.S. military equipment, $750 billion of U.S. energy, and invest an additional $600 billion in other sectors. And there's good news for U.S. companies that sell to EU nations.
They're agreeing to open up their countries to trade at zero tariff. So that's a very big factor.
Earlier, Trump took time to air his long-held dislike of windmills. In 2015, Trump lost a lawsuit against the Scottish government over an offshore wind farm project near his golf resort, claiming it would ruin the ocean view.
I look over the horizon and I see 9 windmills, like right at the end of the 18th. I said, isn't that a shame? What a shame. You have the same thing all over Europe.
Weijia Zhang, CBS News, Edinburgh, Scotland.
Now let's go ahead and get a look at your first warn forecast with meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze, what should we expect?
Well, it's going to be a humid evening tonight. An isolated shower or thunderstorm can't be ruled out, especially across southwestern Wisconsin. Monday, as we've talked about already, it is going to be hot and humid as we climb back into those low to mid 90s, but it may feel like we're in those low triple digits. And then we start to get some relief as we go Wednesday onwards. Wednesday is when the cold front moves on through. Thursday and Friday, even as late into Saturday, is when we continue to feel the relief from that cold front. Here is a line of showers and thunderstorms that's continuing to move out of central parts of Minnesota and beginning to cross I-90 and push into more of the Mason City area. This is the leading edge of this line of showers and thunderstorms. This is going to be forcing a lot of this off towards the south. I think most of the heavy activity stays along and to the west of I-35, but it's following where the energy is right now in the atmosphere, where there's a little bit of change in it, going from a lot of energy to not a lot of energy. So it's going to be riding along that little wave, which does take it south and eastward. So I think that this will clip parts of southwestern Wisconsin as we go into those early morning hours on Monday. Savannah will, of course, keep you updated should anything become severe, but the line likely will take a lot of the more energy off with it towards the south and west. Hopefully this will continue to stay non-severe. Any activity that we do see overnight into the early morning hours on Monday, and that line of showers and thunderstorms or the leftover little bit of energy will continue to move its way into more central parts of southern Wisconsin as we go into the 4, 5, 6 o'clock time frame. If we do see any severe weather, it's likely going to be for hail as well as strong winds. this is riding kind of along a little bit of a front. This is not discrete. This is more of a linear type thing. So we're going to be dealing more with that strong wind and hail threat. Then we'll do it all over again on Monday. There's another chance for Monday night into Tuesday for more showers and thunderstorms that essentially start off in the same areas that the showers and thunderstorms are moving through now, and they'll pretty much follow I-90 out of South Dakota into Minnesota and Iowa, and then eventually make their way into parts of Wisconsin. This is what we were talking about when we talked about the ring of fire. This is the energy along the ring, along the edge of that heat dome. So this is not shocking to me. This is going to continue to be potentially, again, maybe some isolated severe chances, much like what we saw tonight, especially earlier on into the evening. The good news is for a lot of us here in Wisconsin, this is moving in at not an optimal time for severe weather. But we still will find a marginal and a slight risk, so an isolated to a scatter chance for severe thunderstorms as we go Monday evening, overnight into Tuesday, and then we'll once again see showers and thunderstorms, or at least the chance for it, Tuesday into Wednesday along that cold front. There's a look at your 7 and 10 day forecast. Once the high pressure system moves in, and it's got a ways to travel, it's still over parts of Alaska right now, it will really not only cool us down but dry us out. Rain chances pretty much wrap up after Wednesday. The humidity, though, it will return probably Sunday onwards. So Thursday and Friday and Saturday, get out. Enjoy the nice conditions where you're not sweating standing outside. It's going to feel very comfortable out.
I just found it really cool that you're saying, hey, it's over Alaska.
Yeah.
The fact that so far out and both time-wise and distance-wise, you're able to sit here and talk about the weather and how it's going to impact us.
Yeah,
eventually.
I mean, it's obviously our weather comes from the west, but weather all over, even to our east, I mean, it can still affect us. So, yeah, I was just kind of tracking it out on the models where that high just moves on in, and I can't wait for it to get here. I'm ready for just a couple of days where it's not humid, where it doesn't feel like I'm in the ocean.
Yeah. The moment you step outside, it starts beating.
Yeah, I don't want that anymore. I just want a break for a while.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Blaze. Coming up in sports, we hear from Packers head coach Matt LaFleur on how Jordan Love is looking so far in training camp. That and more next. The Brewers have been hot in July, earning themselves one of the best records in all of baseball. Unfortunately, they've lost 2 straight against the Marlins, but they look to get back on track this afternoon. We head to the bottom of the 8th, Brewers down 2-1, and Andrew Vaughn, who's been an absolute revelation for the Crew, hits one straight down center field, bringing in Blake Perkins for the score to tie it up 2 apiece. Then in the 9th, score still 2-2 with the bases loaded, and Blake Perkins comes in clutch with a very similar shot straight down center field. He brings in Eric Haas for the walk-off RBI single. How about that? Brew Crew win it 3-2. And next week, the Crew play the Cubs in a critical series on Tuesday night. You can watch that game on our sister station, Television Wisconsin. This weekend, 5 names are etched into baseball immortality. CC Sabathia and Ichiro Suzuki headlined the 2025 Baseball Hall of Fame class, and they were inducted today in Cooperstown. Sabathia, of course, is a Brewers legend. In 2008, the Crew traded for the Southpaw before the deadline, and it changed the course of the franchise's history. In 17 starts with the Crew, CC went 11-2 with a 1.65 ERA with 128 strikeouts and carried the Brewers to their first playoff appearance in over 26 seasons. The beloved figure says it was his favorite summer in the big leagues. His career was cemented and commemorated in Cooperstown earlier today.
Amber was there in Milwaukee, pregnant, when I was first traded and nervous to start with a new team. Tonight, tell your grannies, your moms, your aunts, your sisters, your wives, your girlfriends, and your daughters how much you love and appreciate them. Thank you, Baseball Hall of Fame, for making the Sabathias a part of your family.
Now to the Twin Cities for the final round of the 3M Open, and today was the Kurt Kaneyama show. Kaneyama would lead most of the day, birdieing on 12 and he would just keep rolling from there. We skip to the 18th hole where Katayama would par, finishing the day 23 under. Kurt Katayama is your 3M Open champ. Packers kicked off training camp on Wednesday, giving us a glimpse at what the 2025 version of this team will look like. The Packers have had a pretty busy offseason, making some splashes in free agency and taking a wide receiver in the first round of the draft in decades. But all of these moves could be for naught if Jordan Love isn't healthy. Our Jason Wilde joins us with how Jordan Love has looked so far in training camp after lower leg injuries hampered him in 2024.
There's a lot of things Jordan Love has done extremely well in his first 2 seasons as the Packers starting quarterback. But one of the things he wasn't able to do, and one of the things that is his signature, is his ability to move within the pocket. Subtle movements that create enough space for him to make throws. And he wasn't able to do that last season after suffering a knee injury in the opener and a groin injury midway through the season. If there's one thing Matt LaFleur has noticed so far in training camp with Love's game, it's that he's back to being elusive when under pressure.
Yeah, I think you usually can move a little bit better if you don't have, a knee or groin. So, but yeah, I think he's been looking good, and that's part of playing that position. I think, some guys are a little bit better at the pocket manipulation than others, but I think he's done a pretty good job. I think last year, I always look at the number of sacks guys take, and he has a good feel in the pocket and understands when he needs to use his legs to try to manipulate the pocket, or there's nowhere to go. Oh shoot, where's my check down? And so I think he's done over the course of 2 years a pretty good job with that, whether he's got his legs or not.
Now, one good example of what Matt LaFleur's talking about there is a play from earlier in training camp when Jordan Love was under pressure. He sidestepped 2 rushers and threw a exquisite 49-yard touchdown pass to Dontavion Wicks. He is more mobile. He is healthier than he was all of last season, and the Packers think that is the recipe for him playing at an even higher level than he has, which could be the key for a team that has Super Bowl aspirations. In Green Bay, Jason Wilde, Channel3000.com.
With that, football season is right around the corner. Wisconsin holds their media day tomorrow before heading to Platteville to kick off fall camp. Our Andrew Bancher, along with myself, will be there throughout camp, bringing you the closest coverage ahead of Luke Fickell's 3rd season leading the team. That's it for sports. We'll be right back. All right, so Blaze, you've been warning us of the heat to come over the next couple of days. What should we expect?
It's going to be our hottest day tomorrow, mid-90s possible, but it will feel like the low 100s. And then there's a look at our 10-day forecast. Relief arrives on Thursday.